Yes, you are reading the title right. But Rhino Stomp only deal 800 base blast damage with no status chance. How could you make it look good in base steel path then? Of course, as you can tell, Rhino Stomp is simply the medium. What is actually doing all the heavy lifting though is actually Tara. So, what makes Rhino Stomp that fitting with Tara then? Before that, have we ever talked about what makes everything in this build work? Rain of arrows. As the description states, on dealing damage, fire an arrow at an enemy with a 0.35 second cooldown between arrows, 30 second duration. Not only that, perks like Downpour and Surging Storm is also crucial as they provide a 5 meter AoE radius and target 4 additional enemies within 10 meter of the struck radius. Looks great. So, how? Read again. On dealing damage, fire an arrow at an enemy, and that includes Rhino Stomp as it simply deals damage. What makes it exceptional is that Rhino Stomp is the only ability that out of every single 25 meter base range ability in this game that doesn't have line of sight restriction. This means that Rain of Arrows, when paired with a very high range Rhino Stomp, this much range, can nuke through rooms as it has no line of sight restriction. This is the reason why the setup is a reality in the first place, but that alone isn't enough. Rain of Arrows ain't just gonna make everything disappear magically with its relatively supportive damage. There must be something still in play, something... Did you know that Rain of Arrow is somehow seen as ability damage? If in doubt, just roar. Once again, because it is treated like an ability damage, the arrow damage is indeed buffed by roar. This is why the setup can work. Not only Rhino Stomp's reach is phenomenal, roar is also able to buff the arrow's damage. And you are free to seek a subsume that doesn't deal damage to any enemy, Rage. Rage is able to provide me the damage vulnerability, and it is an amazing choice against factions like Corpus. And this applies to the same to Infested too, as they also had no armor to begin with. It is not that good against armor units without subsumes like Terrify to strip their armor away, but once you do, yeah, it can nuke very well. Just remember to bring a capable clearing weapon as the perk isn't available all the time, which helps you get the stack faster. When it is available, it is a very capable tool that simply allows Rhino Stomp to just outright nuke Steel Path through the aid of Tara. As for the build, both Terrify and Rest and Rage shares the same exact build. All you need to do is to just swap the subsumes around. Terrify for armor units, Rest and Rage for Corpus and Infested. Focus school wise, it has to be Madurai for me to use Tara. Speaking of that, all my mods and arcanes on the artifact are strictly for Taron Strike build up, even the arcane itself. Remember to also put any sort of focus lens on your Warframe, primary, secondary, melee, Ashcan, Ms, and possibly K-Drives. And yeah, that's the build and setup. Should you try this at home? Nah, don't even. See you all next time. Goodbye.